What's up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the obviously awesome Dr. Disaster, and Monster Hunter Wilds has reached a new peak this weekend, surpassing 1,300,000 concurrent players on Steam and damn near reaching 1,400,000.
Holy crap!
Yeah, that is a whole hell of a lot of players. Capcom has clearly already sold millions of copies of this game at this point, and I will be very interested to find out how many it ends up selling by the end of the month, to see if they exceeded their own expectations at Capcom of somewhere around 7 million units. But all of that commercial success aside, the game has been absolutely plagued by negative reviews from gamers once they saw how poorly the game ran on PC.
What the hell is that?
If you look over on Steam, the review score is up from the first couple of days of its release, where it was sitting at around 40%, but 50% is not exactly stellar. And over on Metacritic, Monster Hunter Wilds is doing a little better with a 7.3 out of 10 user score. The primary complaint for anyone giving it a negative is basically the same thing across the board. The game itself is considered fun, but it is optimized extremely poorly to the point that a large chunk of PC users are finding this game that they spent $70 on to be completely unplayable.
You know what? This is bullshit.
Yeah, that is completely bullshit, especially for a full-priced game. But the only thing worse than the optimization problem for this game on PC, which requires quite an expensive rig to run it well, must be Capcom's response to it. For some reason, these AAA game companies these days seem to have lost their ability to communicate properly with gamers. They've clearly become completely disconnected from the gaming community. Their message to gamers essentially boiled down to this:
have you tried not being a poor person?
Alright, me hearties, make sure you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and don't forget to follow me over on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster1. But anyhow, we have watched this phenomenon over the past several years, and it is truly mind-boggling to behold the fact that modern AAA gaming companies who have millions of dollars at their disposal to put together technical masterpieces, they can't figure out how in the hell to talk to gamers, their customers. Some of the most egregious examples of this come from these corporations who shit on gamers when they ask them to keep the politics out of their games. These particular game devs and community managers who spar with gamers over this subject are deliberately provocative, incendiary, and condescending. But even the companies who aren't doing that, who aren't acting holier than thou and insisting that you have to swallow up their political agenda because that's just the way it is, even these other companies just don't understand how to not piss us off. One example of this is Todd Howard from Bethesda, who basically said to gamers a few years ago, hey, if you can't run Starfield on your PC, you need to upgrade your PC. As you can imagine, if you don't remember, that didn't go over particularly well with gamers who rightly view it as the game developer's responsibility to optimize a game so that it can be played on average modern PC technology. But this post here from Capcom isn't much different and really no better. Pirate Nation on X posted this Capcom response to the negative feedback they were getting on Monster Hunter. It says, "Hunters, if you're experiencing any initial issues with Monster Hunter Wilds on Steam, please try updating your graphics driver, turning off compatibility mode, and then readjust your settings. Thank you for your patience and support." So basically, not a single word about them doing anything to improve the situation for loyal customers who just dropped $70 at a minimum to play their game. That is wildly unacceptable and just plain ludicrous. But here's the thing, this game, Monster Hunter Wilds, represents everything wrong with modern games from a developmental, technological sense. So many of these modern games are focused now on pushing the envelope with regards to graphics. They want to create every little whisker growing on every character's face, despite the fact that gamers largely won't be able to see it. But none of these developers really stop to think about whether or not this adds to a gamer's experience when playing the game. None of them think, man, does this tiny hair follicle growing on this dude's ear actually make the game better? Or does it unnecessarily clog up a game's performance? The graphical upgrades in gaming these days are so minuscule compared to the generational leaps that we saw 20 years ago. Think about what a jump it was going from a PS2 to a PS3. But the jumps nowadays are so small, so negligible, that I get the sense that a lot of these developers are hunting for things that they can do to claim some kind of technical superiority over their competitors, but they aren't asking the most important questions of all. First of all, is this good for the gamers who largely will not give a shit about whether or not the monsters in the Monster Hunter game have irises that realistically respond to light? And probably the most important question of all that game developers should always be asking is this: is the game fun? That is why Nintendo has remained successful for so long, despite the fact that their games haven't been anywhere near the cutting edge of technological advancement for over 20 years. Nintendo makes games that have fun gameplay, period. They make games that are fun. Meanwhile, studios like Capcom are obsessed with accolades for their technical accomplishments, and I gotta be honest, I personally don't care what a game looks like. I care about how much fun I have with it. Someone asked me the other day what era of gaming I enjoyed most, and I answered the PS2, GameCube, original Xbox era, because the games on those systems were fun as hell. Sure, they don't look anywhere near as polished as the games today, but I don't play games for their graphics. Graphics are just a bonus. I play games because I enjoy them. So this focus on pushing the graphical envelope really needs to stop. Sure, it's impressive, but not at the level that companies like this think. Gamers are drawn to games because they want fun. Of course, Monster Hunter Wilds is a massive commercial success, so feedback like this will likely fall on deaf ears to Capcom as a result, but just think how many people saw the negative reviews of Monster Hunter Wilds on Steam and chose not to buy it yet. Monster Hunter is now the title with the 5th most concurrent players of all time on Steam, but that number could have been even more impressive if they would shift their focus away from what amounts to a trivial component of the game. And on top of all of that, they really need to learn how to communicate with normal people, for cripe's sake. But I'm going to leave it there. What do you think of this situation? Should companies like Capcom focus less on impressive graphics, or is that one of the things which attracts you to a game like that? Drop your thoughts into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.